Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. The night that Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That night, in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world around him. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat just for Max. He sailed through a night and a day, in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roar, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. Max said, "Be still," and he tamed them with a magic trick. He stared into their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened. They called him the most wild thing of all, and they made him king of the wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Now stop, said Max. And he sent all the wild things off to bed without eating their supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely, and he wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then, from all around, from far, far away across the world, he smelled something good. Wow! So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." But Max just said, "No." And the wild things roared their terrible roars, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat, and he waved goodbye. He sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day, and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot.